Yet another non-recording. I thought I was recording. Here we go again. It flows the first time, not the second. I have mentioned Ken Browning now at least twice. He died just outside my flat in the car park, which is not what it says on his death certificate. And I mentioned that if he didn't die there, perhaps the ambulance should have taken the trouble to put the sirens and flashing lights on, which they did not. I knew him for 8 years. He was my friend and he was my enemy, and where he differs from my family is that I recognized that. I had Stockholm Syndrome in relation to my family. I didn't see them as the enemy, which, having recited everything they ever did to me, must seem strange indeed. But Ken claimed to have a pile of letters from me. One he called a nice pile, the other he called a nasty pile. He knew my father before I knew him. My father introduced him to me. I didn't know that at the time, but I know it now. He was part of the circle. For 6 months, my husband did work. He worked at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam. The snag to that was he didn't send any money home. And because I was married, I couldn't claim benefits. It was a lovely catch-22. And because I only had 2 O-levels at that time, having failed the rest with my father's crab lice crawling around in my private parts, I wasn't qualified for a damn thing. It was 1981. I was 26. Any job I could have got, say washing up or something, would have been my wages would have been eaten up entirely in childminding fees. So that was also out. So I went into a line of work that was legal. As I wasn't claiming benefits, I could do this. It was glamour modelling. Modelling in your underwear. Ken, of course, tried to push that an awful lot further. I tried to warn my younger daughter that it's the very thin end of a wedge. She also does modelling of that kind. I also did topless go-go dancing. I loved dancing, and the applause did something for my flagging self-esteem. Well, my non-existent self-esteem, actually. I liked it. That was also quite legal. Ken Browning was involved in all of it. And in fact, my husband introduced me to go-go dancing. So he didn't really have much moral ground to stand on when he subsequently objected. My father took full advantage of this alleged moral danger which I'd been in from birth, as well as physical, sexual, emotional, and everything else you can think of. He alleged that I was placing my daughter in moral danger. He had so many morals, my father. Gosh, if I had no fingers and no toes, I could count his morals on them, on these non-existent digits. He persuaded the social services to give my daughter, who was then 7, to him. 6. What had done me wrong? 6. And he and my mother had her for 2 months, which included Christmas. Well, satanic times a year. I had to fight the case in court, and I couldn't get a solicitor for me. I therefore argued my own case. Damn, I could have been a solicitor if only. Hey, rich as Croesus. I was going to take a law degree, and it became an English degree. I defended myself, and my daughter was given back to me that day. Which didn't go down well with either my father or the social services. From then on, the social services were gunning for me. And if that sounds paranoid, no, they were gunning for me. They didn't like to lose the case. Anyway, this is where Ken Browning entered my life. Sometimes friend, sometimes enemy. I recognized the enmity with him, which I did not recognize with my family. I did have Stockholm Syndrome in relation to my family. No doubt about it, because, well, I can list every abuse under the sun, and it wouldn't do any good to put my hand on a Bible I wouldn't believe. But I'll swear on anything else that anyone cares to mention that I'm telling the truth about their abuse. Let's stop there again. I seem to be